All right, hello everyone. Good to see you. Paul Tranny here. Gonna dive into basically doing some compositing in Photoshop. And of course, animating it in After Effects. So I want to welcome everybody. Good to have you here. Really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. We're going to get this started. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. And let's just kind of click over. Let's like get into the action, shall we? Enough chit chat. You can see right here what's going on. What? Look at this. This is the situation that I'm setting up, right? So we're talking about compositing. I also want to welcome everybody for joining me. Yeah, I see you out there. Feel free to say hello in chat. Hopefully it'll come through. I'll be able to see everybody chatting away. There you go. Sean, Gemesis, Mohammed, Michelle, Parth. Cool. All right. Evelyn, cool. Nisreen, cool. Good to have you guys here. Awesome. Let's do this. So basically what's going on this month, I thought this would be really fun because it's all about hashtag Creative Cloud larger than life. So hashtag Creative Cloud larger than life. So this is the theme, right? I thought this would be fun to play with, right? There it is, Creative Cloud larger than life. And you can already see what I'm starting to set up here, right? So what I have over here off to the side, you can see I have this lovely snail and then this scene as well. So I want to composite the two together. So I'm going to do this really fast. Also, I have other images, right? So I have this building that I'm going to use. I have this. I thought about like maybe putting this snail, taking something that's typically really small and compositing into a very big scene. So that's the plan. So from there, right, I'm going to make this easy on me because check this out. We will open up our lovely properties panel. My favorite button is right here. So Nisreen, hopefully you guys are into this. Verena as well. But remove background. That's all I want to do. I'm going to click right there. It'll go through. It removes the background. At least it like gets me like maybe 80% of the way there. So there it is. Remove background gives me this layer mask right here. So I'm going to make sure that's selected. And then I can go in and start cutting out the rest. You could do this any way you want. Of course, black conceals, white reveals. So if I paint on this layer with black, it's going to hide. And I could use a fancy Wacom as well. Let me make sure I can see. Greetings from Norway! Karsten, good to have you here. Mitra, you were too kind. So right in here, again, you could use this Wacom, grab a hard round brush, kind of come in and kind of clean that up like so, right? Just like I'm doing right now. So we could sort of manually do this, but we could also use, just so you know, we also have our object selection tool that I could also still use in these cases as well. But anyways, I'll just go ahead and kind of clean this up. Kind of like that. It doesn't have to be perfect at the bottom because I know I'm going to clean that up anyways. If you hit the X key, it'll switch between your foreground and your background color, right? And if you're really that dexterous, you can jump in and use even your lasso tool. So maybe you want to jump in and just outline it like so. Like that. There we have it. Let's fill that with our background color. Oh yeah. B for brush. X to make sure black's in the foreground. You guys get the idea. Okay. Zip, zip. There we have it. Command 0. We're back out. We could see that this is sort of dropping in and this is like looking nice. Okay. So when I place this guy here, there's more I want to do. This is how I apply two masks, just so you know. And let me make sure I can see everybody's chat. Hello, Nisreen. Yes. Awesome. But sometimes I'll take a layer, so this is a pixel-based layer with a mask, and I'll convert this to a smart object. The one shortcut key that I can't live without is making my own shortcut for smart object. Boom. As I do that, Notice how it puts it within one file, and then I can add a new layer mask right here. So that's what I would do, is I'd add a new layer mask and then start to paint, say, grass down there at the bottom. So in here, maybe a foliage. I'm not really like, you know, we'll just do this really fast, but like I have this foliage, for instance, has to be really small, right? But I'm kind of sort of like showing just, that, you know, those weeds on the bottom right here. So that's what I would do, guys. That's a Kyle T. Webster brush, just so you know. And there's actually a grass brush that I can make as well. But again, I'm just going quick and dirty because I don't want to be streaming for too long. I know you guys demand entertainment. You know, you probably want to see as much as possible. And I want to animate this as well. So there that is. I can do something kind of like that. And so here's the thing. You ready for this? Okay, so, oh, thank you, Eli. You feel the same way about Smart Key to add keyframes. Yes, that would be very good. Intuit, which is all about animating. Okay, so this is, and I'm glad you brought that up, Eli, sort of determining layers. So if I'm going to animate this, I kind of got to be aware of how I'm setting up this PSD in order to make this animate nicely, okay? And that's what I'd think about, right? So, and I'll tell you what I mean in a second, but first we need to do a little bit more compositing. Because as I start to move this around, if I have this snail moving, well, you know, it's gonna be difficult because that's on a layer mask. So I would actually I would jump this layer, and I would have a foreground layer, and I'd have my background layer, right? And then I'd have my snail layer, right? So let's just do this. Ba, 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 shaba, bam, foreground. There it is. B for brush. Paint away, Paul, right? Do your thing. Make sure you're painting with white. Because basically, I would create the foreground is what I'm doing right now. So I could have moved this guy across this whole scene, and I'm not going to have any issues with the layer mask. Okay, so that's all I'm doing. You get the idea. I would probably actually make a legitimate brush of grass instead of leaves. You know, but again, I think you guys, the point still stands. Boom, boom, fill with. I could use Command Delete and that would fill it as well. So now we have our foreground and then we have our background. So let's invert this. Oh, there we go. Okay, so there's a little guy. There he is, right? He's not color corrected yet either, but now he should kind of be able to move through that. Since he's a smart object, I could shrink him down. I could have some fun with him kind of moving through this scene. Okay, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, Michelle, you are so kind to me. I love it. A snail. So this is the thing about this snail. The snail, whether you realize it or not, has like a little bit of like blues or greens, has some cool tones on it. And this is definitely a warm scene. So we need to warm up this lovely snail, right, by adding some adjustment layers. You can do this a number of ways. Guys, I don't know what you would do. I would probably throw a photo filter on there. So let's throw a photo filter on there because we have this lovely warming filter and we can crank that up. And by the way, we got to clip it. Let's clip it just to the snail. And basically this is how we've warmed it up to kind of have it match that scene a little bit better, right? That already looks somewhat better. See how it's getting rid of some of those blue tones, right? So it just looks, again, a little better. And there's more tips I can, you know, show there, but I think that works out pretty well. Right, let's take this, let's convert this to another smart object because I'm just obsessed with it. Smart object. Now let me show you something pretty cool here. You ready? Parth, you like it? And right. So we're gonna have this going on, right? Snail. I will take this And typically, check this out. You ready for some magic? Lee, you ready for this? You gotta, you're right. Lee, you gotta make the snail warm and cozy. You're right. Let me show you this. This is awesome. Let's say, for instance, I'm gonna adjust the size. We're gonna go to canvas size. We're gonna make this. I'm gonna change this a lot, but let's make the height, not the hot, the height 6,000. There we go. All right, so I just changed the height. This is what I love. You ready for this, Sean and everybody? So I need to extend this blue without making it look too wonky. But I want to show you what we could do in here is we can go to edit and we could do a content aware scale. So watch what happens when I do this content aware scale. Take this, hold down the shift key, and I can pull it up. It does start duplicating some of the pixels right there, right? So I could always escape out of that. Let's try that again. Let's do content aware scale. I'm gonna try a little trick and let's just hope that it works. Right in here, protect skin tones. And then, again, this, well, no, I guess it didn't work. I was hoping that protect skin tones would think that those ridges were skin tones, but it didn't quite work. Anyways, you guys get the idea. That's all I was gonna do there. Content aware scale will duplicate. And what you can do right up here, you could say, hey, protect. Where is... yeah, it looks like we could just protect the people. And I'm seeing what other options we have. Anyways, let's just do this, guys. I'm in a rush. I don't got time for this. Hurry up. I just wanted to make this a little bit bigger. Right? Kind of like that. Oh, that's grand. Image. Canvas size. Let's create... I need to change this so much. Let's make this 6,000. So we're going to make this for Instagram. This is going to be Instagram animation. We'll change this one more time. Image size 1024 if you want to. You could also do this. I sometimes make things twice the size, so I'll do 1024 asterisk, so times 2. And that we know is 2048, right? So keep that in mind. 1024, these math operations that you could do in here to get this to be the size that you want it to. All right, so that's all I'm doing at this point because I need to get this into After Effects. All right, there it is. So let me show you something else. Let's do this. Let's save this file for once. Let's save this file. Let's rasterize this layer. Let's apply this layer mask. That's right. I'm doing a save as, and this we're just going to call Snail. So I'm setting this up, Snail. Animation. For animation. Were any snails? No, man, we did not use. We weren't cruel. We didn't use salt. Without you think, like, who discovered that? How cruel are you? Check this out. Let's take it to the next level. Remember our original scene. Remember, Creative Cloud, larger than life. Let's do this. I've already done this cutting out, and in this situation, I decided to have a snail in this situation, but then I decided to add buildings. So I thought this would be really fun. Let's throw some buildings in there, like so. So it's just a fun fantasy scene, and we're still playing with size. Okay, so I just thought this was kind of a cool idea that I might use. So again, let's go back out here. All I did is cut out. This is one of the buildings, right? We can go to this new scene, drop this guy in, like so. Scale it down. There you are, buddy. So that's kind of wild. See, did I get that right? That does not look right. Wait for it. Anyways, it's not bad, right? You guys get the idea. So here's how I composited some of these buildings. Some of them I cut out. Some of them I used Pixel Squid. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with Pixel Squid. Absolutely love them. Pixel Squid has a, as we'll see it right here, has a, it's a plugin. So I can jump in here and I can search for, I don't know, building or house. Their houses, right? So I'm thinking Wild West style. There's 150 houses in here. But I can start to click through. I can find what I want, right? That's what I want to use. Click, it adds it, rotating it around. Since Ariadne says replace the houses, but here we can go ahead and angle this just right? We could do that sort of angles. So easy enough. That's what I've done with some of these, and it still needs work. I actually have a better version of this, and it disappoints me that I don't think I turned on or off the right layers. But it's all good. You guys know how it works, and we can move on. Cool. Got that. We have the version with all the with the houses, which is pretty fun, right? We have this set up right. I can go back here, drop this in like that. You get the idea. Now also, keep in mind, if you're going to be animating this, shop smart, shop S-smart. Lee. Oh, I love the Army of Darkness reference. Look at this. Look at the size of this. So this is going to be maybe an issue for my files. So yeah, I'll just do that. I usually trim it up a little bit. So that's all I'm doing. Just making sure only the stuff I need to animate is in here. So I don't know, something like that. That's all I'm thinking. Guess what? This doesn't match because we didn't do the photo filter. We'll do it right now. Shabba. Warm it up. Get nice and warm and toasty. And there that is. Okay. Shop smart. Shop S-smart. Good reference. Is Pixel Squid a free plugin? The plugin is free, but they are a business, and they put a lot of work into rendering all those files at all those different angles. So it's a monthly subscription, but it is awfully nice. Okay, so that is done. It's called Snail Animation. I can save this, and now we can jump into After Effects. Yeah. So let's do this. Let's do, we can do new composition from footage. Oh yeah, desktop. Snail Animation, PSD, click open. Ah, Jason with the puns. Ah, you killing it. I love it. All right, opening this up. It's going to say, hey, you know what? Retain layer sizes, editable layer styles. That's typically what I do. Click OK. And here's my snail animation. There it is. Here's my layers. You guys are killing me. They're multi-angle renderings, not 3D models. They are originally 3D models, but they give you the multi-angle renderings. So you have to paint in the light correctly, but you get the angles of all those buildings. Okay, so here it is. Here's my snail. And now we can play with this. We can play with this a couple different ways. I would typically put this in a pre-comp, pre-compose. So Snail Comp. Right now I just have this little guy right in here. This is my Snail Comp, Command K. I'm going a little fast. That's okay. Hopefully 1600. Right, we're giving this a little bit of room, but we can now like animate this snail doing stuff. Right? I would almost try. There's so much I would do in here. Gosh, there's a lot of work. Guys, I got to do a lot of work. Yeah. Ooh, Stuart, thank you. That's a good call. Could you have expanded this to with content aware selected. Yeah, that's something I could have tried. I was really hoping the content aware scale would work. All right, so there we go. I just added a mask, so all I did is have to select the pen tool and outline it. The second one, this one's going to be the body right here. The body. And this is the shell. Sorry, that's right behind my head. But with this body, and let me just go ahead and mask this out really fast. Right, just so you can see what's going on. Ba ba ba. Ba ba. There we go. We have the body and then we have the shell. So for the body, what we could do is we could start to use the puppet tool right up here at the top, right? This puppet pin tool, right? So right in here, we can start to add these pins. Boom, boom, boom. Maybe one up here. Sure, why not? We'll twirl this down. And again, I'm sorry this is behind my head. I gotta move my head over. Move my huge head over. Or something. But right back here, we'll twirl this down. We'll see under effects, puppet. And here's the different deformers. These are the different pins. All the pins that I just put in there. Right? And we'll just... In fact, I should be able to hit... U is my Uber key, reveals all those keyframes. So now I can kind of scrub in a couple seconds, take this side, have him stretch out like that, right? And then have him snap back to his original position, right? But maybe this time he's going to be in a little bit more, like that. Have him kind of scrunch up like that. And that's how I would create the a lovely walk cycle. I still got to mask out this part. Look at that. That's an issue. I got to still mask that out. Again, wasn't being that exact, but that's what I would do. Is make him go. Make him go. Copy, paste. There it is. We want this about, what? Sure, 11 seconds. Command K. I'm going to make sure this is only 11 seconds long. There we go. We have our movement. Then we can go to our snail animation. There's our lovely little snail. And then we can start to animate the position. So P for position. There he is. Let's move him over here. Click. Click. Zoop. Like that. And now he's like moving across the prairie, if you will. Okay? You guys get the idea. Not bad work for the time we have. I think we've done like a great job. So thank you so much. Command K will bring up your properties. This is just going to be an animation that's 11 seconds long, because you get the idea after a couple seconds exactly what's happening, but you see it. And ultimately, yeah, I would make this smoke move, right? I need to add a shadow too, like this would help out if I had a shadow underneath. But ultimately, I'm going to turn around and post to Creative Cloud, actually with this hashtag, just so you know, larger than life, because that's the plan. So thanks so much. Mitra, you are the best. Thanks, CH. Sean, how would you deal with the smoke? Honestly, best advice I can give you that I take for myself is try to find smoke out there, because you could try to simulate it. Just like with photography, don't try to simulate something when you can use an actual photograph. Don't try to simulate anything when you use actual video. So I'd have to try to find smoke out there somewhere, and hopefully I can find something on a free site or somewhere else. So thanks so much, Lisa and Miguel, and everybody joining me on LinkedIn and YouTube. You guys get the idea. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Paul Tranny, and you guys are awesome. So, Creative Cloud, larger than life. That's where I'll post this when I get a chance to that hashtag. But do so yourself. Show me what you have. I would love to see it. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Appreciate ya. Let's talk more online. Thank you.